Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the next part of multiplying decimals. We are now going to be getting into multiplying decimals by decimals. And to do this, we're going to be looking at how to use a model with a hundredths grid, and we're going to be looking at it with the standard algorithm as well. So we're going to start with our first example, which is 7/10 times 4/10. You're going to need two colors. Doesn't really matter what. I'm going to be using a pink color and, let's see here. What mood am I in for today? And an orange. It's an orangish color, kind of. Yeah. So really doesn't matter what two colors. I'm going to start by coloring in 7/10 vertically. So I know that I need to color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10. So now that I've got those marked out, I'm just going to finish coloring them in. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be crazy dark. You just need to color them in enough to know that they are the first number. All right. Now I'm going to take my other color, and this time I'm going to color vertically 4/10. And I just decided I'm going to change colors because that one's a little too light for my liking. I want to make sure that y'all can see this. So I'm actually switching to a darker color. But now I'm going to color these 4/10 horizontally. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4/10. And remember, doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not expecting perfection. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be looking at me and saying, Ms. Pike, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Trust me. Just bear with me for a minute. You are now going to be looking for the crossover. Where do the 7/10 and the 4/10 overlay each other? And in this case, it's these boxes right here. This is where both of them cross. So now I'm just going to count to find this. Now I know that for a rectangle, I can multiply my length times my width to find that product. So I'm going to multiply 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, don't those numbers sound familiar? And I know that 7 times 4 is 28. But we have to remember that these are hundredths. I have 28 hundredths that are overlapped. Now, we started looking at standard algorithm for multiplying decimals by whole numbers last week. It doesn't really change. I don't want you to freak out about this. Let's look at it. 7 times 4 is 28, nothing out of the ordinary. Now, last week, just like we said, you have to count the number of places to the right of the decimal in both factors. So I have one place here and one place here. So that means that I need to go 1, 2 places in my answer for 28 hundredths. Let's look at our next example, which is 9/10 times 9/10. So I'm going to color in 9/10. See, I'm not being real picky about color or the perfection of this. I literally just need it for the representation, as long as I know I'm coloring the right numbers. So there's 9/10. And then I need to color 9/10 again. Your first factor is always done horizontally. Your second factor is done vertically. So now I need to find that overlap where they cross, which is going to be all of this. All right. And now, just like I did the last time, I'm going to use what I know of area to multiply the length times the width to find that total. You could sit here and count all of them one by one, but that's going to take a lot of time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I know that 9 times 9 is 81, and I'm counting hundredths, so I know that I need my decimal there. And once again, let's take a look at the standard algorithm. 9 times 9 is 81, and I have 1, 2 places to the right of the decimal. So I need to count 1, 2 places for a matching product. We're going to do 2 more together. Our first one is 5/10 times 5/10. And I'm going to switch things up a bit. I'm going to switch to a yellowish color if I can find one. Yeah, that's about as good as I'm gonna get. I just want to make sure that y'all can see it. That's my only problem. Let's see here. I guess a pinkish or a lighter pink color will work. I want you to be able to see the contrast a little bit better. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5/10. I'm really hoping y'all can still see this, and I think from what I'm seeing you can. So I colored my 5/10. And now I need to color my second set of 5/10 because I've got 5/10 twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now to figure out where they overlap. So this is our point where they overlap, and once again I can use area to find what I'm looking for. I multiply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I know that 5 times 5 is 25, and I know that I'm dealing with hundredths, so my decimal goes here. So let's take one more look at our standard algorithm. I already know that 5 times 5 equals 25, and I need to count 1, 2 places to place my decimal. 1, 2 places. And you should be seeing some patterns with the 3 examples that we've already done because it's basic multiplication. It's just a matter of where you're placing your decimal. So let's take one more look at our last example for today, which is 6 times 7. Just like I did last time, I'm going to color in my 6/10 vertically first. So here are my 6/10. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to make sure that you don't cross over and that you only color what you need to color. And then I'm going to need to color 7/10 horizontally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just like we've done for the last 3 problems, I'm going to use my darker color to outline where they overlap to keep track of what I need to focus on. And once again, I can use that area formula to help me solve this instead of having to count every single one. So I multiply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 42. And because it's hundredths, I place my decimal. Last time looking at the standard algorithm, we know that 6 times 7 is 42. And I need to count 1, 2 decimal places. 1, 2, and place my decimal. Okay, groups will be meeting with me all throughout the week to work on this. You will not be multiplying numbers that have hundredths. We'll be focusing on tenths times tenths because your answers will only have to go to the hundredths place. So don't worry about taking it any deeper than this. This is all you will need to know. But you will need to make sure that you recognize when you see a model that you can recognize what problem it's actually asking you to solve, because that's going to be one thing that's going to be required of you. All right, if you have any questions, message me on Dojo, or have your parents shoot me a message, or message me on Classroom, or have your parents message me on Dojo. And I'll be sending out a survey for anybody who wants more in-depth one-on-one outside of the small groups later this week. Have a great day, everybody.